Hey guys, in this video I'll be comparing the MoYu HuaMeng YS3M and the MoYu Super RS3M. I have the ball core version of both cubes and I have them set up the exact same way, so it should be a pretty fair comparison. Let's start with the specifications. The Super RS3M is 56mm across and weighs 86 grams. The YS3M is slightly smaller at 55mm and it weighs 83 grams. The YS3M also has stronger magnets than the Super RS3M, which is probably a good thing because people complain about the weak magnets of the Super. With regards to price, the YS3M ball core is a little bit more expensive than the RS3M ball core at $26 and $20 respectively at speedcubeshop.com. Both of these cubes have corner core magnets which allow the layers to automatically align more easily. The Super RS3M is advertised to auto-align 35 degrees, whereas the YS3M is advertised to auto-align only 25 degrees. However, in testing, it feels like the opposite's true. I found that the auto-alignment of the YS3M feels much stronger than the Super RS3M, and this is probably in part due to the stronger magnets. Let's talk about the turning feel now. Even though these cubes are both MoYu 3x3s, they have pretty distinct turning feels. The Super RS3M feels airier and kind of squishy, whereas the YS3M feels more solid and blocky, kind of like a Volk. I don't think the turning feel really affects the performance of these cubes, so it's mostly a preference thing. I personally prefer the blocky YS3M, but I can see why people would prefer the squishy feel of the Super RS3M. The performance of the YS3M and of the Super RS3M are very similar. The corner cutting of the Super RS3M is ridiculously good, and it's better than the YS3M, but you won't really need that level of corner cutting in yourself, so it doesn't matter. I think that the stronger magnets of the YS3M make the performance slightly better than the RS3M, and it feels like my turns are a little bit more snappy. In addition, I prefer the feel of the YS3M and I feel like it suits my turning style better. If I had to compare the YS3M and Super RS3M to other cubes, I'd say the YS3M feels something like an RS3M 2021 or a Volk, and it has that kind of blocky feel, whereas the Super RS3M feels maybe like a Worm 2021 or a Tengen V2. Overall, I prefer the YS3M and I do think it's better than the Super RS3M, but I don't think it's a massive upgrade. If you don't have either cube and you're looking to buy one, I recommend the YS3M. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it. If you already have the Super, then I'd only recommend buying the YS3M if you don't really like the feel of the Super and wished it had stronger magnets. If you want to buy either of these cubes or any other puzzle, then you can use my discount code JavaCuber at speedcubeshop.com for a discount on your entire order and to support this channel. Anyway, that's the end of my part, and I'm gonna let Casey give his thoughts on the YS3M and Super RS3M. If you remember my 6:13 PR single with the last layer skip, Casey was also at that competition and he found the exact same LL skip solution that I did. Except he did it faster and got a 552. Also, our official averages are only 0.01 apart, mine being 783 and his being 784, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, enjoy his part of this video.
The YS3M is definitely a solid new release from MoYu and I'm really liking it so far. It turns real well, it doesn't really lock up, and I get pretty decent times on it. It's almost like a more stable version of the RS3 2020, so if you liked the RS3 line from MoYu, then you might like the YS3. My favorite part of the cube is probably the magnets. Now, I don't know if it's just my setup, but the magnets feel really unique to me. The magnetic click is really satisfying, and again, I don't know if it's just my setup, but the magnetic click just feels more satisfying than other cubes that I've tried. There are some downsides, however. First is the speed. For me, the YS3 tends to slow down a lot. I would be really careful when lubing this cube because it gets really slow. I'd probably start with a smaller amount of lube and work your way up. Even then, the cube will slow down on its own, which sort of forces me to keep the cube at a faster speed that I'm normally comfortable with. Another small issue I had was with the matte finish. It was super slippery, but it does go away after a bunch of solves, so it's really not that bad. And this is not to say that the cube is bad at all. As I said, I really like it when it does perform well. I don't quite get what I normally average if I were using my main, which is either the Super RS3 or the Tornado version 3, but I still think the turning is super reliable. As I said, it turns really well, and I really don't lock up on it. I still prefer the Super RS3 though, even though I gave it a bunch of crap in my review. Even though I would prefer the smaller size of the YS3, the Super RS3 still has a little more forgiveness in its turning, I think, which fits my turning style better. The The Super RS3 really grew on me and I got really consistent results with it at my last competition, but the same thing could happen with the YS3 as I use it more. It's still pretty new and I can still play around with the setup, so it's not totally out of the picture if I were to switch cubes in the middle of a competition.
I'll have Casey's YouTube channel linked in the description so you can go subscribe to him. Thanks to Casey for being a part of this video, thanks to SpeedCube Shop for sending me the YS3M, and thank you for watching. Bye.